All right, ignoring Upwork policies. Okay, this is the boring one. Most people don't want to read Upwork policies. They think this is not necessary for me. I just want to look for jobs. Now, guys, let me tell you, most people sometimes wonder, okay, Jesse, how did you get successful on the platform? They just thought it's just maybe my smile. I have this cute smile. It's just a joke. It's not about my smile, but most people just think that maybe I know how to package myself. Maybe I have something that I'm saying that I'm not showing you guys on this platform. Guys, I've shown you my account. I've shown you the proposal that I've submitted. There's nothing I'm hiding. The only thing that is stopping you is you, because probably you are not understanding my tutorials, or maybe you don't want to spend the time to actually learn the things that I'm talking about. You just want to bypass, you want to find the shortcuts. That's not how it works. If you want to be successful on Upwork, you have to do the work, the upfront work. Put yourself down, put yourself together, and then do the work. When you are finished with that work, you will see your success will start coming. And one of that work is for you to read the Upwork policies. So most people tend to ignore it. But I will tell you, there are key things that you need to understand. Number one, how does the Upwork contract work? What is the policy for Upwork contract, fixed contracts, and also hourly rates? How does it work? How does Upwork protect you, right? And also protect the client. You need to understand how that works. Number two, what does the badges mean, right? Rising star, top rated plus. How do you get that? How does feedback works within the platform? These are critical things that you need to learn about and understand, because if you do, you will know that when a client sends you a feedback, it will only appear on your job when you respond to that feedback. So let's say, for instance, you already know that this client is going to leave you a nasty feedback. Why would you leave them a feedback in the first place? Now you get that. You get the tip, right? If you don't know that, what will happen is you will go and leave feedback for that client. The nasty feedback of the client will show on your profile. If you don't want to show that, just don't reply to the client. Don't send them a feedback. Don't say anything. Just leave them. Then the feedback will just stay with the client. You don't get to see the feedback, but also the feedback does not get to show on your profile. Why am I telling you this? This is important because sometimes it might not be your fault for you to fall away with a particular client, but they are just difficult to work with. So they want to leave a very nasty feedback for you. You don't need to get that feedback on your profile. Why would you do that? You want to halt or break your career on Upwork? No. These are the things that are really important. How does payment work? How does Upwork, all these other things, how do you get money out of the platform and so on? So you need to read these policies. Most people ignore them and they hurt you. And then when they hurt you, start scrambling, looking for answers, how to solve this problem. Don't fall into that trap if you are trying to get started on Upwork. Now let's get to the top two items that I really want you to pay attention to. Number 4 is poor communication. Now, okay, I know what you think. You will say, oh, Jesse, you've talked about this before. I know what you mean. This is not too important, but I will tell you that is the most important one. That is the most important mistake most people make. They don't sharpen. They don't practice how to communicate with clients. And if you don't practice and you don't do well in communicating well with clients, what will happen is they will not want to work with you. Communication is a huge part of freelancing. Let me repeat that again. You knowing how to communicate with clients, having that body language, knowing how to communicate with a client is a huge part of you becoming successful. The reason why most freelancers struggle to be successful is because their communication is poor. So now communication is not something that you are born with. This is something that you can learn, and it takes a lot of practice. It requires you to start speaking English at home. It requires you to speak clearly when you are communicating with clients. Be clear, not just in terms of speaking, but also in writing. Be very clear. Make sure your grammar is aligned. The clients can understand you. If the clients cannot understand you, it's a problem. And that is why most time clients even have these interviews with us. They want to see your body language, how confident you are. They want to see how well you can speak, or probably how well, because they've already read your proposal, so they will assume that you know how to write. Communication is so important, and it requires consistent practicing. If you have to have an interview with a colleague or a friend or your sister or your brother, sit down with them, just get interview tests, right? Just do a dry run on interview. Learn how to take interviews. Learn how to communicate and connect with clients. Guys, I've talked about this. I've gone through the details. I've even shared my method of interviewing with a client. If you master communication, your ability to communicate and connect with a client, and for them to be kind of interested and impressed by the way you communicate with them, then you will be successful on Upwork. You will be landing big clients. Last but not the least, it's the most important one. Do not ignore client feedback. Let me give you this scenario. Now, most people, when they start freelancing, the biggest mistake that they make is they think that, okay, I am a freelancer, so I can do whatever I want. That's a mistake. You cannot do whatever you want because there is something that is intermediary between you and the client. And that is the platform. The Upwork platform is an intermediary, and it is kind of moderating your attitude and also the client's attitude towards each other so that you guys can have a positive relationship. Now, you also have to know that clients are spending their money to pay you to do their work. So you have to be serious about delivering. I don't want to teach you something here thinking that, oh, I just go there and make money and then I disappear. I have seen nasty feedbacks on Upwork wherein most freelancers, when they start a job, when they don't understand the job or maybe they don't know what to do, they just disappear. Instead of them going back to the client and say, oh, I thought I was able to do this job, or this was what I thought, but unfortunately, I don't have the skills that you need. If there is something else that I can do for you, please let me know. But this is really too tough for me. The work is too much, the pay is low. I would rather want to drop off. Maybe you can get someone else. Just be honest. Just be sincere to yourself. But most people, they will just disappear. If a client provides that kind of feedback that you are someone that disappears 2 or 3 days and don't show up, that can destroy your career, because once that feedback is there, any client that sees that feedback, they will never hire you. Feedback is one of the strongest weapons that can either make you or destroy you on the platform. Client feedback is more trusted by most clients than whatever you are going to write in that proposal or whatever portfolio you've written or whatever English you know how to write. Feedback from other clients is more important to clients than any other thing. So if you receive a very nasty feedback, know that your account is finished. The only thing that you have to do maybe is to create another account. So this is why it is really, really important that you don't ignore clients' feedback. Now, most clients, they provide you basic feedback, not on the platform. They tell you during the time that you are working with them. They will tell you that, okay, this is what you need to do and do this. Or maybe you did not do well. I was expecting you disappeared for a day or two. Why was that? They bring it up. Now, that is a subtle way of them giving you feedback that they don't like it, right? So if a client raise an issue during the time when you are working, make sure you adjust your attitude. And sometimes just be sincere. If you are not available for tomorrow, just say, client A, I won't be available for tomorrow. But most people, what they will do, they will take on multiple jobs and then they disappear from these clients, appear for this one for 2 or 3 days, and then they switch over to the other client. That will not help you to grow. Unless you are just somebody on the platform who just want to create few dollars and then they kick you out of the platform, because the clients can even report you. They can report you to Upwork. They can block your account. So you don't think that you are free to just do anything that you want. As your mentor, I would advise you to not ignore clients' feedback. Take clients' feedback very seriously and respond to those feedback promptly. If you know that a client is treating you unfairly and you don't think that you can work with them, the best thing you can do is to politely ask them that you are leaving the job, so that you don't think that the job is a good fit for you. Leave their job quietly. And if you are not sure that the client is going to provide a positive feedback for you, all you have to do, don't provide feedback for that client, and then your feedback will not show. The only thing might affect your job success score, but that is fine. Rather than you having a very nasty feedback that can affect your account. It does not just affect that particular job, it affects your entire account, because other clients will see that feedback. So guys, there you have it. These are key 5 mistakes that most people make. They tend to ignore it. And some of these things, I emphasize them because I want to make sure you can understand them. Thank you for watching and see you on the next one.